Welcome to the greatest tutorial you've ever seen. I am going to be talking about pre 1.9, but specifically 1.7. I will not talk about trading or 1.8 tower because I do not play those. I will talk about hardcore briefly when I am talking about triangulation because there are similarities. Right now people play 1.7.10 because it has mods. 1.7.4 has the small advantage of when you're towering, baby zombie chicken's jockey will have the baby zombie despawn, but the chicken will remain. So you can collect it after your tower. But that is rare and people don't really care. So we play 1.7.10. I will leave links to mods and the practice worlds that I use and macros in the description. And I will leave links to some tutorials for other towers. And maybe if strats get updated, I will link those tutorials below also. When you load up a world, you gotta know if you are resetting or not. You will reset all cold biomes. So I reset if I see a spruce tree or snow or ice, I guess. And I reset a plains unless I can see sheep, pigs, and lava. Well, sheep, food, and lava from spawn. So most of the time, if you're playing a world, you can see a savanna or a desert off of spawn. However, this world is not good because there is so much ocean. It just turns out that it's very unlikely that this world becomes good. And you just have to get experience with that and learn which worlds are unplayable. But I guess, like, yeah, if half of it is ocean, it's not very good. Also, render distance. You cannot reset on 16 RD. You cannot use something greater than 16 because that is not vanilla. You want to reset from like 10 to 12. Less than that if you're laggy, but then if you're like very low, you will have a hard time finding deserts when you're resetting. So I reset on 12. I reset on 10 when I had a worse computer. If you are playing for sub 30, you can do first day nether or second day nether. I am going to talk as if you are doing first day nether because it's the same. You don't really want to leave collecting materials to the second day because that makes your run extremely slow and you probably can't sub 30. If you're playing for something like sub 40, this tutorial will still tell you what to do. Just like figure it out. If you are playing for second day nether, peeking into the nether is good reset efficiency. You just build a portal, go in, look for a fort, and if there isn't a fort, you reset. Because if you're doing second day nether, you kind of need a very close fort for sub 30 at least. This is very important, extremely important actually. Changing biomes for different animals. There is a bug that the game will spawn the same pack of animals over and over again. That is how you get packs of like this sheep. If you see a pink sheep in one pack, it's very likely that you're gonna have a ton of packs with pink sheep. Because the game is like unintentionally spawning the same thing over and over again. So the two solutions to get different animals are to either pass some amount of trunk borders or change biomes. The chunk borders effectively mean it's just like if you're in the same biome, just run a pretty far amount. You can't see chunk borders. There's no like command like there is in 1.16. And also, I'm not sure how many chunk borders or how you would know like when it changes. So just like run if you're banking on another animal. Changing biomes is a more reliable method. You see there are pigs in the plains and there are sheep in the swamp. Chickens give feathers for arrows. Sheep give wool. Pigs and cows give good food. Chickens are like surprisingly bad for food because they only drop one chicken per chicken, while pigs and cows drop multiple of a better food. So that is relevant. Like pure chicken runs are probably slow, but you can try and mess with it, see if you have any success. I rarely play them. It's very important to get wool in your first day, because otherwise you cannot tower. You need a bed in order for the tower to work. So sheep or a temple are absolutely mandatory. You can get 3 wool from a village. From the village lanterns, they have black wool at the top. However, then you only have 1 bed, and you need multiple beds to kill the Ender Dragon. You will notice that your hunger goes down very quickly. However, there is a trick to lose less hunger. If you punch a mob, so you see how I punched the pig and then kept sprinting, you want to be sprinting before you punch the mob and hold your sprint key and your forward key afterwards, and then you lose less hunger. And it's important that you don't let your sprint be interrupted, so you can't like stop running and you can't bump into a block like that. Otherwise, it doesn't continue. Found by Eliotex. You can also use a boat for this. One of the reasons why I talked about crafting a boat, you can use it for ocean travel, but that is mostly post tower. You don't want to be traveling in oceans until you're like going to the stronghold and you're forced to travel in an ocean. It's just always bad. However, a boat can be used in the Nether, as I will show if I don't forget. And it can also be used for the sprint glitch. You want to use a sword or a axe to break the boat. I'm pretty sure iron sword and stone sword both break the boat in 1 hit. So yeah. Well, axe also breaks it in 1 hit. That is good to know. So yeah, that is the same idea. The boat replaces the pig. So you can use it in a desert where no passive mobs spawn. If you switch to your sword too quickly, it will not break the boat in 1 hit, and could be annoying in like hillier terrain. That is not what you want to do. That one managed to work out, but so yeah, try to place the boat as far away as you can. So like you typically want a couple blocks of flat terrain, and then even if you switch too quickly, like, and you have to hit it 2 or 3 times, it won't like interrupt your sprinting. If you are using Entity Punch on sheep, you should only do that when you are leaving the pack of sheep, or if you don't need any more wool. Because after you punch an animal, it goes into the panicked state where it like runs around. And for sheep specifically, this means they won't eat grass and regrow their wool. And also, this will interrupt sheep, if they are like in the animation of eating and you punch them, they'll stop eating and run around. A lot of times you prefer the wool over the few bars of hunger, but if you're like leaving anyway and there's a desert you're going to go to, you just punch it and, you know, don't, even if it regrew its wool, he wouldn't turn around and run back 50 blocks. A lot of people overuse this trick a lot, way too much. It's good to use on mobs. Like, it's not every single seed I'm going to craft a boat and I have to use it. Oh my god. Like, yo, I see there's a river. I'm 10 blocks away. Let me boat. And then, oh shoot, now I have to swim and now I lose the sprint glitch. Damn, that sucks. Okay. Okay, let me use it again. Oh crap. Okay. Let me use it again. Oh god. Oh, look at how fast I'm being. Don't spam it. You look stupid. Use it rarely. Use it when you're traveling a large flat desert for a lava pool. Use it on mobs when before you have wood to craft a boat. And use it during triangulation. Do not spam it. It's stupid. Using it in the Nether is okay, in extremely rare circumstances. Most of the time, it's worthless because the Nether, you don't want to be like sprinting across massive flat stretches of netherrack. In the fort, it's like maybe barely worth it. Sometimes, if you're traveling down massive hallways with no mobs. And you get this world. Whoa, I see a desert. This isn't a reset. What are you gonna do? So I see a desert. I see a savanna. And I can see both sheep and food source. Those pigs are worthless because I don't want to go that way. I need wood. I see a cave here. So I look in the cave. Cave has a dead end. So I don't care about that cave. Now I go to trees. When you are getting trees for a cave, you can get either 3 or 4 wood. I get 3 wood. 4 wood, I will explain why. Okay. I see a cave, close to trees, wool, food, so very playable. I see iron. Wow, there's no mobs. That's lucky. I see iron, so I'm gonna get the iron. You need 6 iron at minimum, because you do not want to use weird backup strats, because they're bad. So, the reason why you need 6 is a bucket, flint and steel, and shears. The reason why you might want 4 wood is because, as you see, I've used my pickaxe and my wooden plank as fuel, and that will only cook 2 iron ingots. The items that you want before you exit the cave are shears and flint and steel, because those help you get the other materials that you need on the first day. So 2 iron is typically not enough. Your options are to get coal and smelt. So like you could grab coal, put it in the furnace, get the rest of the iron, and then smelt, you know, make an axe and a shovel, get the gravel for flint, and then you could exit, and all the while you're smelting with the coal and you get a ton of iron. Or if you're, again, getting 3 logs, you can only cook 2 and then exit and you cook the last one while you're like getting some wood or something. It's normally what I do. So, you know, played this super well. We got all our stuff. Let's go. When I get wood, I like to craft my first 2 logs into sticks. And this will be enough for the rest of the run, probably. You might have to craft 1 more set. You want a sword, you want ladders, and a bow, possibly, which is why it might be too much. And then 5 sticks for arrows, or for making another pickaxe if your stone pickaxe breaks, or if you're making an iron pickaxe. Yes, so that is why I do that. Right. I forgot the amount of iron. Maximum you would ever want is 12. 12 iron would give you iron sword, iron pickaxe, iron shovel, and your necessities. The reason why I keep my inventory organized this way is I would keep my blocks here, which are leaves, and I would put my food here. So that way I see everything on my hotbar, and I know I'm not missing anything when I want to enter the nether. Right. And as I've just demonstrated, you need flint and steel to cook food easily, and you want shears to get 2.5 stacks of leaves, preferably like 3 stacks. I think you can get like 3 and 16, but yeah, 3 stacks is good. Water bucket for building the portal, and right, shears also for shearing sheep. So great job, got all the materials. So many materials actually. I forgot to get wood. How much wood do I get? Oh, so I get 2 logs for the sticks, and then I would get 7 in addition to that. There's also a dig down route, which I should explain properly. Same overworld. I was running here, I ran to this tree. The reason why I did not do dig down in my PB, and why I didn't show it immediately, is because I ran to this cave, right? I have wood, so I could do dig down here, but it's not the correct play. Caves are faster and more reliable. Dig down is like less than 50% chance of being actually good. You reset quite a bit because you just don't find iron. Right, the point of digging down is to find iron without a cave. So say you get your 3 wood from the street. I ran here because you want to be close to wood and your animals, and maybe gravel. I assume that there's gravel here, but I assume there would also be some, yeah, there's some down here at the bottom of the lake, so I would have been right. So the reason why I was running here is because I was running towards the animals, not because I knew where the cave was. The other reason to run is to look for caves that are, like, very close, but not immediately obvious. And you can also hear mobs below you. Actually, like, rather significant. Hearing mobs and hearing lava is something to pay attention to. I think 4 logs does not make sense. It kind of makes sense if you dig down into a cave, which is somewhat common. I try to be mining iron at 2 minutes for first day nether. So I would get 3. I use gamma 1, so it's kind of dark if you're below a leaf. So I just go like outside of the leaf, close to a tree so you get wood when you come back up, and close to mobs And also, like, you want to maximize running to maximize the chance of finding a cave. But if you don't, then that's fine, I guess. So you dig down, you place a crafting table here, right above your head, instead of like digging onto the side. 1, 2, 3. This is for your stone pickaxe, so you want to get that. I get another 3 stone to make an axe and break the crafting table above me. Which is good axe for like monsters if you dig into a cave. Collecting the crafting table lets you make a furnace. I'm pretty sure it's good, but yeah, maybe people could disagree, because if you like dig into iron that is not connected to a cave, then you just break all the iron and get back up, and then you craft an axe later when the iron is smelting. But like, I guess try it out if you want to test it. I feel like making an axe is better. And then notice the way that I'm digging down. 1, 2, 3. Dig on the sides, 1 block. Then 1, 2, 3. And then alternate the sides, right? So you end up with this pattern. 2, 3. Made by Sharpie. Sometimes, if the terrain is like lowered, you won't be able to place a crafting table over your head, or if you place it and then break it, it might like get caught in these. So if you have extra dirt, you can like build up. Out of the other iron sources, temple is the most common after caves. It's probably meta to reset for temple for times like sub 18. For temple, if I see a temple, I will either get 2 logs or 0 logs. Sometimes I will get 3 logs, assuming that I'm going to go to a cave and see a temple on the way. Some people also prefer 3 logs all the time, because 3 logs will give you more sticks, so you can craft all of your tools at once. Temples always spawn at the same Y level, so that is why if the terrain is extremely hilly, they can be buried. And that's why like flatter, lower terrain makes them very easily visible. And also why this one looks so funky, like inaccessible like this. There are several ways to enter. There's this one. There's, you can break these, you can break these. There's entrance here, entrance there, top, this one, and on the other side. For this one, I would either like break a sand block and then go up here. That's probably what I would do. Or I guess if you're like approaching from a different direction, you can enter through there. There may be mobs in the temple. If you enter through here, and there's a mob in one of the hallways, you can place a block here. So craft your wood and then place a plank here or there. If there's a mob here and you're entering this way, I think you have to kill it. But if you fall from... If you enter this way, and you immediately start breaking this wool to get down, you can be fast enough to not have to kill it most of the time, hopefully. Sometimes you just say unlucky and reset. So yes, you want to break the wool because you want wool anyway, and punching sandstone is slower. If I have a pickaxe, I break the sandstone, but that is uncommon and like strange routing. Right, temples are good because they have wool. It's orange wool here and here and here. And also like 2 blocks right here. But these ones are pretty inconvenient to get. I do not recommend them. So yeah, enter here, break the wool. When you're falling, I craft the wood into planks. then you punch this sandstone block to break the break the pressure plate. And then you also have access to the TNT. Here, I break 4 TNT, place a TNT under me, TNT in the corner, then pressure plate here, and walk on the pressure plate. Or most of the time I'm standing on this block, and then I push. Then I place the pressure plate below me. And that ignites this TNT, and there's no TNT here to be ignited. So only this one blows up, and you dive back down here and blow it up. I will demonstrate in a moment, because you have an option. You can break these 2 TNT and then do the same setup. Because that's the only the TNT below this block is the only one that's important to break. However, TNT breaks instantly, so I don't really see the point to doing that. Just like break all of this, and then now you have a bit of time before the TNT explodes, so you can craft like that. That same like muscle memory works for 2 logs and 3 logs, because you'll just get more sticks with 3 logs. And then you like run around a bit, collecting everything. Minimum amount of iron is 4. You need a bucket and a flint and steel. You do not need shears, because you can use the TNT to get blocks. You can either use TNT to get blocks from the temple and sand, which is like old strats, or the nether is more common because you get a lot more from netherrack. You also get gold and rotten flesh. Rotten flesh can get you to better food source. It's probably not good to use it as your only food source. You'd like mushroom stew or some mobs somewhere else. Right, gold. You make pickaxes with gold. You also make axes and shovels. Shovel is probably the least important. Pickaxes are the most important, I would say. Try to craft like at least 3 pickaxes, and then an axe if you can, and then shovels. You can get diamonds from temples. Diamonds are best for diamond swords and diamond shovels. I prefer a diamond shovel over like 2 or 3 gold shovels, because gold shovels are barely faster, but they take up inventory space, and you have to hotkey them into your slots, and yeah, diamond shovel is preferable. So when you finish building up out of the temple, you've looted the bottom. You want to break this wool. There's 12 wool in the center. And while I'm breaking this wool, I'm looking at the places where I want to put TNT. So I see that the places that you want to place TNT are here, here, or here. One of these spots. If you have this setup where there's no like section in here, these holes are filled, you want to put it here so that it breaks that wall. And this way you can more easily access the other source of wool. If you have this setup where there is like an area behind, you can place it here. And then you also have access. I like to get some blocks in the overworld before entering the nether, because it can help with nether routing. Besides getting blocks, which is mandatory, the best uses for TNT are blaze TNT, so I will show that a bit later in the tutorial. TNT exit is also very good, and TNT tower is not used right now, but it could be very good. Another structure is the desert village. Well, not necessarily desert village, just villages. They have several materials. The most common one that you're going to use is food. Carrots and potatoes. Carrots are better than potatoes because you do not have to smelt carrots. This village has a lot of carrots. Wheat is not useful. You can use the bones from temples to like grow them if you want to. Normally 1 row should be enough if you are playing for sub 20. They also, the reason why I picked this to be a desert village is because non-desert villages have their walkways out of gravel, so you have a lot of gravel. But in desert villages, the well always has a ring of gravel around it. This is more than enough gravel for your entire run. And also, they have cobblestone. In other villages, you have like gravel in the floors and cobblestone in the buildings. So like this is... The well is important in desert villages. Also, blacksmiths have a chest and 2 furnaces. Furnaces can help you skip crafting your own furnace, and you can get both so you can smelt faster. In the blacksmith chest, most of the time, it's garbage, like food. However, it can be... villages are very good if you get enough iron from them, because then you have iron and food. And that is basically enough for your entire run. That's like a very, very good start to a run. Is there anything else? Right. The reason why cobblestone is important is you might get, say, like 3 logs from a savanna. You see the village, and then say that this village had a blacksmith here. The idea is you want to collect the furnaces from the blacksmith, it's like the blacksmiths, you know, it's over there. You see it, you want to get the furnace. So bam, you have gravel, flint, you have your tools, you have a stone pickaxe to mine the furnaces, and you can go loot your blacksmith now. And you have food. And if the blacksmith has iron, that's like a really big time save. It's very, very nice. Spawners are very interesting. They are quite rare. They can be found in caves, and that is like good, but caves already have iron, so I mean, they're still good to get. This is what they look like when they're exposed in the desert. It's also hard to see because most of the time you're not like why would you be like running in the desert randomly unless you're hoping for a temple? But like if you're here, it's very difficult to see the spawner, you know. However, if you get lucky, you can go here, and you notice that there are raised sand blocks. This is a very good spawner for demonstration because there are a lot of raised sand blocks because it's on a hill, right? So I know that this is the spawner because it's in the middle. These are the chests because it doesn't make sense for there to be like 1 extra sand randomly. So that is 1 chest. This is another chest. And this was a very, very mediocre spawner. I don't think spawners can have more than 2 chests. Like 99% sure they cannot. So after I see 2 chests, I would leave. If there wasn't, it was like this, and I got 1 chest, I would be very suspicious about these ones. And I like the locations where the sand is 1 block higher relative to its neighbors. So this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I would mine it all out if I had a shovel. It is kind of easy to claim that they're not there because you can see that the line where the terrain comes. But especially if like maybe if I didn't have a shovel, I would skip it. But if I had a shovel, I would break it to be safe. Spawners are good because they typically have a ton of iron, and they can also have buckets, which you need at least 1 bucket. They can also have like some small amount of food, which is okay, I guess. String is good for bows, but you really care about the like very high likelihood to get a ton of pre-smelted iron. It's a good time save. Let's talk about trees. I love trees. Trees are not built the same. Some trees are tall, some trees are short. Short trees are better. When you are shearing, I use a like circular motion. The idea of a good tree is you get the most amount of leaves while like moving the least. So that is why short trees are better. You can see that like moving very little, I get a lot of leaves. This one I have to move a lot more to get the same amount of leaves. In addition, you have to like wait for the leaves to fall so you can pick them up on this tree. So a lot of the time I would like break a piece of wood, preferably with an axe, while I'm like circling and getting this. For this one, it's a lot easier to like break as you're running through the tree, and you don't have to go back around. So that is 3 tall. That is 1 tall. 2 tall are in the middle. These are good. Oak trees are just good. Savanna trees are not as good, but better than most people give them credit. People have been shit-talking them, which I do not appreciate. Sometimes they can spawn very low. They can either have like 1. This one has only 1 like area with leaves. This one has 2. They're very good, especially with like terrain differences, if you can reach without having to build up. So I do not have that, but imagine if there was a hill and I didn't have to like build up and I could just get all these leaves very quickly. That would be good. If they are like this, it's easy to grab while you're running. Does not give you much leaves, gave me 22. Or you can also build up. We see 1 tree next to another tree. Like, yo, that's pretty good. If I build up, that gives me a ton of leaves. So you can build up. And this is very convenient to like stand on and jump to other trees. So you can get this tree. So you're like paying attention to not trap yourself on the tree, right? I'm clearing this and I'm backing away towards more trees. Then after I clear this one, I'm going to back away to the other tree that is behind me. These leaves will despawn because they were placed here when the tree was generated. This leaf that I just placed will not despawn. So, be aware of that. You can fall. So then you could like build over here. So you won't fall when you're like on these ones, you're safe. Then, you know, shear more and stuff. And then you're leaving on the ground so you can get your axe and break trees while you're picking up leaves. Break logs while you're picking up leaves. Swamp trees are very, very good. The best, actually. Get so many blocks. Because swamp trees just have more leaves than an oak tree. Just like, maybe only 1 block bigger. maybe 2 blocks. I think 1 on either side. You want to like grab the good leaves and then not care about these. The ones at the top, like, same principle of like tall oak trees, just not worth getting. And you see that 2 trees gave me a ton of blocks. You also want to be careful that your shears do not run out of durability. This is like the last... If you see your shear go to this level, you have 10 more uses out of this, and that is enough, but like sketchy, especially if you broke like more. You have 6 shears on sheep. That's pretty sketchy. That is quite sketchy. So just pay attention. Try to leave it when it still has like the last red bar. There are also good swamp trees and good and bad swamp trees. You know, this one's super tall. Like, you can barely reach it. If you're down here, you can reach 1. However, they can be very kind and spawn very low. So those are very good. So this is a ghost block. Let me try to... Okay, the ghost block is right here, or possibly at this level, head level. It is not preventing me from going in because the game thinks that I broke the block, but also thinks I didn't break the block. So you can force it to reveal itself by right-clicking where it should be. And now it is there. Now you can see why I couldn't walk into it. You could also relog, but relogging is not recommended. In real runs, this happens with gold pickaxes and with shears when you're... Oh, another one. Yes. When you're moving your mouse around very quickly, trying to collect blocks. Normally you're not like spinning around with gold pickaxes, so it does not happen often. If it happens with shears, when you're shearing leaves fairly often, because you're moving your mouse to get leaves, but also like moving your character around, so that can result in like the fast mouse motions that cause ghost blocks. And I would not right-click them in that case. The most common situation is you're shearing leaves, you create a ghost block but don't notice it, and then you come back to collect the leaves, and then you run into the ghost block when you're trying to pick up leaves. I would just notice that I get stuck on the ghost block, immediately back up, and then just go around it, because that is what tends to be fastest in a real run. Death resetting is reasonable, but extremely rare to be playable. I do not recommend it, because you will probably waste time forcing runs where you're trying to death reset, and not worth it. Resetting for chords. I like resetting for chords for sub 20. For sub 25, resetting for desert in a good direction is reasonable, but I don't really think you need it. For sub 25, just like try to get a perfect tower start. And then after you leave the nether, you can like try to increase chords if you have any time. Resetting for chords for sub 25 is pretty bad. but I think for sub 20 it becomes worth it. I reset for 200 displacement, something around there. It's just 0, 0 is bad, and it's getting some displacement is common. If you are playing for sub 20, you absolutely need to reset it for desert in a good direction. So, first day is almost done. You just need to enter the Nether and not look like a complete idiot. Holy crap. This is also another thing that gets on my nerves. This is how you build a Nether portal. Why are those leaves so green? Right? You pick up your water, you enter the Nether, bam! If you do this here, on the 3, you'll see that there's no lava here. So, there's a wall with 3, so you're gonna place 1 more leaf, and you're gonna build your portal like this. By the way, if you get the cobblestone there, that is what you want to do. You want to pick up your water, break the cobblestone, then place the water on the leaf. So you don't get a cobblestone generator. And now you can build your portal. If there is the lava's like slightly in the ground like this, I would not do this, because you see now I have to break a block, break a block, break another block. Now I can do my portal. Instead, I would recommend building out 1 block further. So here, there's 3, so I would build out 1 further again. And now I have a 4 lava. And it's much faster to place blocks than it is to break them. So I would just, keep that in mind. I think 1.16 runners have been doing this. And now people think it's cool to do it this way. You build up half your portal, and you put the water down, and you build up that wall. There's just literally no point. There's no time save. It doesn't do anything. It's completely worthless. Say that there was already lava on the bottom. Stuff you should learn is when there's water like this, you pick it up, place a block, wait for this to drain, and then placing down a bucket and picking it up removes the water from that block, obviously. So when you remove water from this block, this is a 1x1 of water, so that instantly goes away, right? Or nearly instantly. The point is that it's fast. So you pick it up, that goes away, and you do the same here, and it goes away. So doing that quickly makes it drain very quickly. What I meant to show was that when you pick up the water and then place a block here, it's the same idea. So you pick up the water. It's like kind of hard to show and explain at the same time. You pick up the water, and then the Y level where the water is drains fairly quickly. Then you place a block here so that this drains quickly, and then there's only these 4 and you can pick it up quickly. How to not break your lava, or break your lava pool, something like that. One thing that's important is the glitch about shifting. If you shift, you notice your crosshair dips slightly. However, I think that's only like visual. Your hitbox does not change, and the thing you're pointing at does not change. The block you're selecting does not change, I believe. Wait, but it literally does. listen, there's something, I don't know, there's something weird about shifting when you're moving liquids around. Don't shift when you're picking up or placing lava, is the point. So, like, I will shift sometimes to move around and, like, get a better position, but then when I'm, like, placing, it's like, okay to shift when you're grabbing lava and moving your mouse quickly, because the lava pool is big, you'll probably get some lava somewhere. But when you're placing, you want to be accurate. You don't want to place lava here. You don't want to, like, place it somewhere random. Don't want to place it on you. Yeah. So try to avoid shifting. In a situation like this, to get the water to drain faster, you can place a block here. Then you get the same 4x4. You can actually place 2 blocks. So pick it up in this place, and then you're scared the lava will overflow. Why would you be scared the lava will overflow? Let us create a situation. You're like, yo, my lava's, my water is gonna spill over. You can break this block, and then you see when you place the water, there's the flow that goes, the water will flow out in 3 directions, right? This one goes into your portal, which is consistent, it's not changing a lot. One flows here, which is again consistent. This block is important, because that stops the water from going here and then spilling out. So that's why that block is there. And then this, breaking this block stops this flow from going here and spilling on the lava. So that is the safety block. Highly recommended in tournaments, because that is massively embarrassing to lose like a minute or to reset and lose 5 minutes if you mess up your portal. Underground lava pools, kind of rare, but the point is, yeah, don't do this. This is so annoying. How many blocks are you gonna have to break in order to build your stupid portal right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're crazy. You can literally just like do this, build out 1 more block. Then you would have to break 2 blocks. And you can build out 1 more, and now you don't even have to break anything, right? Now you can just build your lava pool. It won't overflow because you placed this block correctly. You can like pay attention, and if say the lava pool like extended over here, you can like build a wall with leaves. It's much better to place blocks, and you have a ton of blocks. Use the time save. Yeah, it's a good thing you're watching this tutorial, Teddy, because you suck. Holy shit. You watered your lava pool in your world record. You're part of the reason why I spent 20 minutes talking about stupid portals. Because people can't figure it out on their own. Okay. You've entered the Nether. You've not massively embarrassed yourself, losing multiple seconds to breaking blocks. You enter the Nether. This is active. This is opened with Shift F3. You get a pie chart in the bottom right. You can. This is the starting screen, and the important part is clicking on Game Render, Level, and then Entities. And then you can even go 1 further to block entities. And then you would look at this number, the one on the right. I have been using this, so I will use this during the tutorial because it's also like visual. This one, you need to memorize numbers, and I assume you have not done that already. So you enter the Nether. And sometimes You get a spike when you enter. Okay, it didn't happen this time. That's unlucky. I know that 0.04 means there is a fortress for me. It's probably the same for everyone. I don't know. I do not have 10 computers to test it on. But just like, you know, you'll learn what number means there's a fort somewhere. You're detecting the spawners and the chests. So yeah, this means there is not a fort. It can be deceiving sometimes. I do recommend looking around. I recommend like looking around first, because then you look stupid if you're like fumbling with your PyDAR when there's a fort right in front of your face. So like look around, then open PyDAR, then scan, then like look around again, and then if there's nothing, you quit. But you're like, oh, that's a big drop. I don't want to lose any HP. You can make a boat. Stop it. Where even are you? If cats are shooting at you, most of the time it's best to just ignore them. You should be like running. Most of the time you are running somewhere, so they will not be able to hit you. And even if you're standing still, most of the time they miss because they shoot like too high for you. So it's very important to be aware when you're like building upwards. To be aware of gas fireballs and yeah, if you're like standing still, I guess. So you can place a boat, and then you move very slowly because you're on land. So you can break the block below you, which most of the time is netherrack, and that'll give you a boost if you can ever get off of it. And then you want to exit the boat before hitting the ground, because if you are in the boat when it breaks, you will take the full damage. Stone swords, you need 1 crit and 2 normal swings. Iron sword, you'd want 2 crits, so that's 1 less swing. A little slower because you're timing your hits to not like hit needlessly. Diamond sword is 1 crit and 1 normal hit, so those are very fast. Diamond sword is very nice. Still 2 hits, but significantly faster if you do it correctly. Both blazes and wither skeletons can tank fireballs for you. Forget this one I'm about to shoot. Oh no, wither skeletons will also tank the fireballs. When you kill a mob, the hitbox, like you see how the blaze is like, when the blaze dies, it turns sideways and red and it disappears at the end. Before it disappears, the hitbox is still there, so the like place where the blaze died will also soak up fireballs. So that can be relevant in a spawner situation, not as relevant in when you're getting strays. There is a cage set up for blazes. I do not recommend it except for hardcore, so I will not teach it. Just practice your blaze fights a little bit, okay? So you're gonna go in, you're like, oh crap, I can't kill 2 blazes. Let me build my sector. This is one possible setup. With leaves, it will burn. Netherrack will keep the fire when... It'll make the fire that goes on top of the blocks be permanent. So it's like kind of annoying. Dirt or cobblestone or nether brick are good. I like to place this protection on the left side. Blazes have a tendency to move to the left. I think when they're pathfinding to you, they move to the left. I don't think they do it naturally. You see how this one's like inching to the left? I think he's like stuck on the spawner block, so if we... Yeah, no, he's more visibly moving to the left. Usually the ones that aren't aggroed are just standing still. This setup is good because you can put it up quickly. You can also only use 1 block, but that's like a little bit more sketchy, and that's like... Yeah, that's why you don't want to do it. even though I was shifting and on the side, blaze was too far to the right, so it saw me. That is why people use 2 blocks. That is why people do not place blocks while a blaze is aggroed on them. Normally you want to, do an advance and then hide behind it. This is similar to Cage, where you can like hit the feet of blazes. You can use it like this, especially for like your last rod or something. Most of the time you're dodging like baiting up here and then going back under. You don't want to let them get this far. You'd want to kill them before they get this far. Or like whack them backwards. So this was created by Cscuile. I will build it out of these non-flammable blocks. You want 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then grapple. And then similar to the 2-block setup, you want to like probably kill them before they get here. It's kind of inconvenient. This is much safer. Well, it's much more like straightforward to use, unless it's like hard to mess up, right? You jump, you're safe here, then you jump across, and then you're safe here. The gravel is important because sometimes fireballs will like catch on the top of the gravel when they would normally hit you from here. It's gravel because you will break the gravel to get up, and gravel drops flint, which is also something you want to get to craft arrows for the Endfight. You want to be very conscious of your knockback, especially on exposed spawners. Notice how I was sprinting towards the blazes, and I stopped before hitting them. And you can do that with either shifting or with letting go of W. I let go of W. It's just like easier. It did take practice to get used to letting go of W. So yeah. Let's talk about strategy. You need blaze rods. So you want to, maximize your speed at which you get blaze rods. Obviously. I don't like crafting or grinding gravel before you've mined out the spawner. Mining out the spawner is so good. You'll notice that I mined out these 6 blocks first. Let me replace that with leaves and pretend it's netherrack, or nether brick. Optimal block breaking order is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The order doesn't really matter, but those 6 are important to get first. So those 6, and then 3 here, 3 here. And then once you've broken these 3, blazes can sometimes get stuck over here more commonly, because remember they're moving to your left, so they will get stuck here. They'll be aggroed, and it'll be like hard to bait them. So to avoid that, break that block. You can also break this block. You can reach, you don't want to be standing up here like I was doing that so you can more easily see the blocks that we're breaking. Most of the time you want to stand down here because your hitbox will prevent blazes from spawning. So you don't want to be in like good spawning areas. So then you can break that 5. You can break this. And then I use 4 nether brick to reconstruct this slightly further out. And then there's one more row of 5 back there. You want to like clear a cycle. So clear a cycle and then try to break this as quickly as possible. You see that I was not very fast because I was playing slowly. So blazes spawned while I was breaking the blocks. That is not great, but there wasn't really a way around it. There are a lot of blazes. Stone pickaxe and stone sword make it slower. You could have just like tanked shots, but I would not recommend it in that situation because there's just no point. It's not so bad to be in there while you're breaking blocks because you're taking up like slightly less than 2 blocks, but you are also breaking blocks at the same time. So, you know, it's fine most of the time. You can build a roof. I sometimes like build this W design. I don't like building a roof. You can just like get good instead. There are also some individuals who don't break these 2 blocks. You know, that's okay if you're like new. Just break it. It's free blazes. The idea is sometimes a blaze can get stuck here, stance here, and never get aggroed onto you. I mean, just kill it. What are you in the nether why are you in the nether if you're not killing blazes? Come on. And then you can like fill it in. The W is because like it's likely that a blaze will like be halfway onto a block and then the block will stop them from coming up anyway. If ghasts are shooting at you when you're in the spawner, ignoring them is correct like 99% of the time. If they're very easy to reflect a fireball and kill them, then you can do it. But like if it's slightly hard, it's probably better to just ignore it. Fire. This is very important. Fire stops a lot of spawns. It stops spawns in a 3x3 area. So this one piece of fire is equivalent to all of that nether brick. So if you have the option between punching out a piece of fire or breaking like 2 pieces of nether brick, you should punch out the fire because it takes up a lot of spawning area. Blaze fireballs are slightly randomized, so they are not directly at you, which is why strafing is not guaranteed ever. However, strafing works most of the time if you're doing it correctly. Practice and learn. Wither skeletons, their pathfinding is trash. Look how it's staying on the railing. So if I go on this railing and I'm sprinting around, it won't catch me. It's very slow to like come up or down the railing. You see how it just stays on the bottom? Now that it's on the bottom, now that it's on the top, it just stays on the top. And it like... So yeah. You can just go on the railing and go past it most of the time. In enclosed areas, or if there are like strays harassing you, like strays over here, that would be really bad. You would have to kill it. Also, blocking them off is good a lot of the time. Let's talk about blaze bedding and blaze TNT. Don't know if any of you are insane enough to explode an exposed spawner, so let's assume not. If you are doing blaze TNT, you would first kill the blazes. Place block TNT, then ignite the TNT. Wooden planks are the lowest blast resistance that will still protect the spawner, so they are what I use. Yeah, TNT is better than beds because it does not create fire. If you don't want to use planks, cobblestone or nether brick is also okay. They're both like kind of hard, so they're for like TNT it's like really kind of the same. For beds, it's not great. Let me show you slowly so that when I do it quickly, it's not too fast. Although you can slow it down, I guess. So I will come here, I will kill the blazes, I will stand on the spawner, 2 leaves here, leaf there, wooden planks, bed, explode it. The leaf block will make the bed drop. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to right click and then shift forwards so that I'm standing on the spawner. This leaf can catch on fire, the spawner cannot catch on fire. So I want to walk onto the spawner, but not too far forward, so I collect the bed. And then I will do the same setup here to blow up the other half. This leaf is not necessary. Sometimes it can be good if you're like spamming blocks, kind of panicked. Blaze bedding is hard. Blaze TNT is normally fine. If you want to blaze bed, I really recommend practicing quite a bit and understanding how difficult it is. Yes, so I will just go through that quickly. That's like good strafing. Going down blocks is good. So like there are stairs right there. So when you go down the blocks, blazes have a hard time shooting you. I was also strafing to the left and around the corner. However, you have to be like slow and patient about it because you don't want to hit the wall too soon and stop strafing left. That is really bad. That is a common way to get hit. Yes. If there's fire here, you want to punch it out because it will destroy the sleep that you're standing on. A blaze got hit. So a blaze spawned. Most of the time blazes do not spawn if you do it fast enough. So you would be like standing here, punch the sleep, then you want to start punching out fire because you remember how fire was so important. That's why only 1 blaze spawned despite being so open already. So break this leaf, then break any fire, and then I go out in a ring. Most of the fire that was on the nether brick has already gone out, but yes, go in a ring, and then blaze spawners have a radius of 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This back wall does not get fully broken, and there are like these remnants 1, 2, 3, 4. So this nether brick would, this netherrack, I would mine it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one actually got exploded. Sometimes there's a mirror of this nether brick. Explosions are slightly random, as you remember. So yeah, ring. And then I tend to go to the back because, as I said, the back is not exploded. So it's like closer to the spawner and therefore more spawns are likely. So like punching out all of this and then punching out this side, mining it also, and punching out, well, maybe like save mining if it's a lot of blocks. But sometimes it's like inconvenient to mine fire. If like this block is already broken, it's hard to punch it out, right? You can't punch it out actually, except unless you jump. So like here, you can't punch out the fire, just like break the block. And since the spawning radius is 1, 2, 3, 4, fire like on this nether, if fire was right there, it would affect spawns, but only in 3 blocks. So it's like not the most relevant, you know. Something that can happen while blaze bedding, which does not happen on the seed, which is partially why I use it for practice. There can be like lava in the roof that you blaze bed, and then you break all the blocks and the lava starts flowing everywhere. And even if you plug it up, the lava takes a very long time to drain, right? This is not good. Blazes will absolutely spawn while the lava is still there, and it will be difficult to fight. So, a way to make the lava flow down, make the lava drain faster. So, you see how there is a plus shape formed by the lava? You want to place blocks in the center. I guess in survival you want to like block off the source first. So build up, block off the source, and then try to be accurate with your block placement so you don't like... You want to avoid this situation where you build up and then... Oh, actually it drains really quickly. Maybe you don't have to worry. I was thinking like you could cause the lava to flow out onto you, but maybe it drains fast enough that you don't have to worry about it if you're like timing your block placements well. So you stack up, plug up the hole, break it down, and you see how I let it drain before I place the block, if you want to be very careful about it. So yeah. Be careful with lava. Blaze bedding is already very dangerous, and lava makes it very, very hard. I have a clip that I almost forgot about. Sometimes blazes can get out of sync. So that means like half of them are aggroed and half of them aren't. And you can see this sometimes if a runner's just like baiting fireballs and then baiting fireballs from the second set of blazes and then baiting fireballs back from the first set of blazes, and they just keep like baiting fireballs and they can never get in to do damage. That is when out of sync blazes are bad, and that's why they're like normally considered bad. In that situation, you want to make sure all of them are on fire, so that means that all of them are charging their fireballs. Then you want to wait until they're ready to shoot. Then you want to bait all the fireballs at once, and that's how you get them back in sync. However, out of sync blazes can also be used to your advantage. And I will play this clip without talking, and then... Okie dokie. This is common for blaze bedding because you see the two like, what would I call it? Holes, two block deep holes. It's common for them to get stuck there and get out of sync that way. Like the last blaze that I killed was out of sync. However, if you can force it. If you can force blazes to get out of sync, it can be good if you use it correctly. So in order to get the blazes out of sync, the amount that they are out of sync depends on the amount of time you wait after fully baiting one blaze, but before you fully bait the next blaze. So let me try to find that point. So here I've baited this one. You can see there's no fire on that one. But I don't believe I've baited... I think I've baited two, but I haven't baited the other two. One's behind the spawner and one has fallen down. Let's see. Yes, so these two are baited. There's one behind the spawner there and one in this crack. So the time since the last fireball shot until when I reveal myself to the other blazes and let them shoot out is how much time I will have to kill these blazes before I have to kill the next two blazes. So yeah, this is good because it lets you have more time to kill blazes. On to Triangulation. If you want to not sleep during your tower, I would highly recommend playing some hardcore runs, because they are extremely fun, and also they you learn a lot about fighting mobs. With the Iron Sword, spiders die with 1 crit and 1 normal attack. So like that, it can be a little difficult to get the crit because they jump towards you. So yeah. As I said before, creepers explode with flint and steel. Mobs cannot see you if you are in tall grass. That is something interesting, worth noting. If you are in a plains, the skeleton does not see me. And it has to like move into the block, but it can't move into the block because I'm there. So apparently zombies can hit you. I did not know that. But if you need to like eat or throw an eye, you can hide inside tall grass temporarily. You can use Entity Punch, which I talked about during the first day, if you're sprinting around a lot. Say there are some Endermen, so the way you build your hole, you are so annoying, is like this, and you aggro them. You don't want to be standing up here, because they can hit you, so you want to stand back. Zombies also are extremely annoying. For some reason, they can hit you just like very easily. Their hitboxes don't work. Like sometimes, even when you're like in the edge, they will still just destroy you. So to avoid that, you can dig down and do this. Now they will pathfind into that hole, and you can get out. Or more commonly, I will get out by breaking the sand. I can illustrate that. Yeah, so it's on top of my block. There we go. If there are skeletons harassing you when you're in your hole, they will shoot you. You can just like block it. They will have trouble shooting you if you block it correctly. That happens. Be aware that it happens. Skeleton shoots a creeper and it gets aggroed on the skeleton. If you are digging a hole, you have to kill baby zombies. They are 1 block tall, so they will destroy you. You probably have to kill spiders. Most of the time I aggro Enderman and I just run and have them keep following me until I reach an area with fewer mobs. Oh my god. You can de-aggro Enderman by making them walk into water. Enderman will teleport if you hit them in the body. The first hit they will not teleport, but they will not be hit other times. So you have to either hit them in the head, which is difficult, or hitting them in the legs is preferred. If you don't want to dig a hole, you can like do this strafing. Apparently, if you place a boat, punch it, and then enter, it's faster than the slow startup. So that is notable if you have an ocean. The other thing is PIDAR. So you use this to detect fortresses, and you will also use this in triangulating. If you are using this PIDAR, you will need to refresh. If you are on this PIDAR, you will have to memorize numbers, but you do not have to refresh, I believe. And also using this screen makes it so you do not have to, like, your hotkeys won't mess it up. Because you see, if you press 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, that will change the screen you're looking at. So it's like annoying. So you are following your eye. I wanted to point that way. I don't remember. Okay. Yeah, creative. Following your eye. Whoa, that's a spike. Is that a spike? That's a spike. Yo. But it's the temple, right? Wrong. It is actually there's a temple, stronghold, and a mineshaft, and a dungeon. All of these things can be detected. You can also detect blacksmiths. So those will cause fake spikes and hide the stronghold. It's a little difficult to like show examples without just like doing full runs. You'll understand it if you practice triangulation, which I would again highly recommend. When it spikes in the ring and you don't see anything else around, it's probably the stronghold. With practice, you will understand how far the like start of the spike is from the portal room. You see how there is very little spike, right? But if I turn to the dungeon, it's bigger. Spike means that orange is bigger than the rest. You're using numbers. Stronghold spike is 0.4 to 0.8. You can also use this number if you're using numbers, but if you're just memorizing numbers, it's better to just use this one. So you see how it's 0.05 right now? That is how you check it's a dungeon. Dungeons are very small angle. They affect a small angle compared to mine shafts and strongholds. I believe blacksmiths and temples also are a small angle, so that is how you would check. For temples and blacksmiths, you would just like run past it, and if the spike is still there, then you would get suspicious of a stronghold. Mine shafts are difficult to tell. Yeah, that's just like the hard one to tell. Sometimes they can be like outside of the what you'd expect the stronghold to be, but like the spike would be too small or too large. But I think you would just prefer to be safe and throw, and then, you know, baited by a mineshaft, unlucky. The mineshaft happened to be on the same line as the stronghold. I do not recommend calculators. They are slow. They are good in trading. Not for tower. For tower, you should do 3-eye triangulation. That is faster, much better. Calculators are very inaccurate in 1.7 and slow, not worth it. A couple weird things about triangulation. If you relog, that can make the eye point to the starter. So try to not relog. Ocean strongholds are very wacky. You might have noticed that the portal room is detached sometimes. If it's detached, but the eye points to it, it's like, good? Question mark. I think that's for exposed portal rooms most of the time. They're detached, but the eye still points correctly. But for some like unexposed ocean strongholds, you get the eye pointing to some random hallway, and the portal room is detached, separated by like 5-10 blocks. You can try to find the portal room if you dig through some dead ends. The few times that I've encountered this, the portal room has been behind a dead end. If you dig a couple blocks, like 5, and then try to listen for silverfish, you can try to find it that way. You can also try to use PyDAR. Nova did that in, or it might have been relay qualifiers. You will have noticed that in the end, when I open my inventory, you may have heard like a second bed explosion or a second like dragon roar. Opening your inventory or opening a chest can like duplicate sounds, make them happen again if they just happened as you were opening that thing. It is not real. It happens in like temples also. Can happen with creepers. If you like kill a creeper, open your inventory, and then hear a hiss that could be from the creeper that you just killed. Just know that and don't make mistakes because of it. So mobs will become invincible if they're aggroed onto you and you die. So yeah, now the zombie can hit me. I cannot hit it. That one. So it disappears after a time, but it is quite disruptive in real runs. And I think it lasts longer in real runs for some reason. You can fix it immediately by relogging. A lot of the time, it's a common situation for you to have slept and then get this glitch occur when you get out of the hole and there's like spiders you want to kill for string. So you can set those spiders on fire or use a lava bucket. It's not great. This is one reason why I prefer not sleeping, because you can just like you can afford to skip mobs that are invincible and just get new mobs later. So if you see these chunks that don't render when you're playing, you don't want to approach them. You want to turn your render distance down while you're a good distance away from them, and then you can turn your render distance back up. Then they should be gone. So, you found the portal room. It's right here. You're digging down. It is safer to craft above in case you need wood. You can like grab trees if they're nearby, and you don't forget anything. But yeah, I cracked in the portal room because I'm quirky like that. The eye points to this block. The block in front of the spawner. When you get here, you will have some blocks. You will land somewhere here. If you're like down here, you can either climb up the stairs or like build up. If you build up, be careful to not like leave a staircase for the silverfish to climb up and kill you. It's just like either, yeah, this is what you want to avoid, like this staircase. Either go here or go like here, build up all the way. Then place these 3 blocks, and this will stop the silverfish from being able to come up to you. Skeletons can like come here and shoot you. That's not very common. If you want to be even safer, well, yeah, some people do this. There's no point. It's worthless. This is the speed of normal blocks, and this is the speed of a silverfish block. Much slower to mine, so you will know when you are breaking one. So, let's say you're in a ocean exposed portal room, right? You have a boat, you got here, but you would like to break your boat into 3 planks and 2 sticks in order to use that wood. So you will break the spawner, kill the silverfish if you have to. You want to kill them with crits. Yeah, so you want to crit them. Crit, I believe Diamond Sword kills on a non-crit. Yeah. So break the spawner, kill them, and you are going to break your boat. You will place blocks here, you want to be using a block that breaks quickly, so preferably leaves or TNT. Then you will place 1, 2, 3, 4, and break 3. Then you will break it, and your boat will break. It is important that you exit the boat before it reaches the ground. If you do not exit the boat, you just let it exit, you let it break, you can get teleported below. This happened in like kind of practice run. I was just like trying to figure this out, and it happened in an ocean exposed portal room where the bottom was also exposed to the ocean. So I teleported down into the ocean, and that was awful. When you are entering the end, you do not want to stand on the portal frame. What I do is I fill in these 3, either left to right or right to left, and then I walk backwards 1 and fill in this row. If you are on this portal frame and you like fill in the eye, you might get teleported immediately, and that can make you spawn in the void, which is bad. The other thing is you do not want to be shifting when you change dimensions. The point is you are shifting, but it looks like you're not, and you run normally, but if you try to explode a bed in the end, you will instead shift click the bed and it will not explode. So enter by sprint jumping. Do not shift. Do not walk in. Do not stand on the edge and teleport in without walking in. There are 3 types of spawns: cage, connected to the main island, and far spawns. The dragon can charge you when you are in the cage. However, you have a bit of time, even if it is charging you immediately. Firstly, you want to eat before you enter the end. You don't want to be eating in the end, if you can avoid it. You will always spawn facing the same direction. Maybe not in practice. Practice can be a little weird. Sometimes you'll spawn facing south. But yeah, you can tell because of the like lines on the obsidian, I think. Yeah, the texture is directional. But in real runs, you will always spawn facing west, which is the towards the rest of the end island, right? Like the main thing is west. So that is the direction you want to be facing. I turn to this corner and immediately start mining. You break 1 block, immediately build up, and now even if the dragon charges you, you can't be like knocked out unless it some very weird charges where it stays on you and attacks you. You prevent those by blocking when you think you're going to get hit, and then during your invincibility frames, you want to swing your sword, and then as soon as you hear damage, you want to block again. That's the technique when you get charged by a dragon in closed quarters. It would also come up on a far end island. So right click, you hear the hit, and then you can either block or start digging again. Blocking is safer, digging just assumes that it's not like being annoying and charging you repeatedly. Like it is right now. So back here. It's here. You can dig up 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you cannot dig up anymore. So dig up the max. Don't dig up like partially. I don't know why you would do that. Then you are out of the cage. If the dragon is charging you when you are coming out, you can try to get a bed off. These beds do damage to you. significant amount of damage, but you get a bet on the dragon, so sometimes worth it. Bar Island spawns. You will have blocks, hopefully, from digging down to the portal room. Water is very important for the end, also. If the dragon is charging you and you are still here, you will build this shape and block, and then hit the dragon once you take 1.5 hearts of damage. You shouldn't be able to get double hit most of the time. I don't know if you can when you're doing it correctly. Hopefully not. I practice speed bridging to be able to get to the island faster. If this is like not very far off, the dragon charges me here, you can just like go back to your obsidian platform and hide. But say it was like 40 blocks further back, right? You've been speed bridging a long time. You can build this. You do not need this block. That was an accident. And then if the dragon charges you, it's like a similar situation. If the dragon charges you from a lower angle for weird reasons, if it runs into an enderman, it can get low. If the like terrain is funky, it can get low again. You have to shoot an arrow because it will destroy the cobblestone underneath you, and that will make you die. So this setup is to avoid wasting an arrow. You spawn on the main end island. These are the best. They're the fastest because you can get up easily. And if the dragon charges you, it's not such a big deal because you're not like stranded in the middle of the void, and it's hard for you to get knocked off if you play correctly. If you are scared, you can like place blocks behind you, you know, just like protect yourself. Then you run up to the island. So let's talk about proper end fights. Let me break out the old macro. I will have this macro in the description along with lots of other stuff. I recommend starting out with infinite beds and a stack of arrows, and just trying to complete the end fight. You would shoot down all the towers, you know, get close to them so they're easy to shoot. If you miss, you will adjust your aim. So like I was a little too low, you would shoot a little higher, and then try to be able to hit all towers with 2 arrows. Higher FOV can help with arrows. It's just like the arrows look like they move straighter, so you're spending less time like worrying about if they're too far left or right. And then once you've knocked out all the towers, you can start using beds on the dragon. And you can also shoot the dragon with arrows to make it charge. When the dragon takes damage from an arrow or a crystal, it will change its direction. There's a 25% chance it changes the direction to you. So that's like basic strategy. I would not really recommend playing when you're like barely comfortable finishing end fights. The like strategy that I would recommend for like tournaments in sub 30 are shooting towers. Like your goal is to hit all the towers. Your goal is to knock them all out. But you're paying attention to the dragon and you're going to hit charges as they come to you. So you're not like, you know, spamming the dragon with arrows while there's still towers up. You know, you're focusing on the towers. You don't care if you deal damage to the dragon. But if it charges and it's easy and free, you can take the charge. Once you feel good at Endfights, you only want to shoot crystals that the dragon's connected to. So you want to have every arrow be dealing damage to the dragon. Because you need charges as fast as possible, as many as possible. It is difficult, very difficult. But it is very fun. I like it a lot. I will save like really complicated explanations and like specific scenarios for another video. But I still want to talk about like elevating beds and stuff. So there's a line between the dragon and you. When the dragon targets you, the dragon moves in a straight line towards you. You want to place the bed on that line. More specifically, you want the bed explosion point to be on that line. And the bed explodes from right here, right where my crosshair is, very slightly outside of the pillow. So when you are building protection, that is what you want to be blocking, right? I place this block and I stand here so that the block is in between the explosion start and my feet. You take explosion damage from your feet. There are two places where you can place the block. You can place a block here, or you can place a block here. Other locations are bad. This is bad. You take too much damage for no reason. And I haven't found any situation where that's necessary. This is also bad. You just like block more of the bed for no reason. And nothing else would remotely make sense. In very simple terms, you place a block here, you protect yourself here. This is used if the dragon is coming towards you at 45 degrees. So, that's a, yeah, like that. It would have been better if I, like, the original charge was more over here, so, like, this location would have been better, but, you know. Something important is that if you place a bed, the block over here, because the explosion is now within the cobblestone, it did no damage to me. I only took damage because of the fire. Oh, okay. There's a block right here that the bed does no damage. It does have a heart. Endstone, it like breaks one piece of endstone. And you are also recovering the bed. This is used in the blaze bedding that I showed earlier. That's how you are recovering the bed. You use a door. It was discovered by Eliotex. You will not die from this. And you saw that I was able to recover my bed. It is difficult to recover the door. I don't like this. I have not found it to be very useful in Endfights. In blaze bedding, it's a useful mechanic. Back to the idea of 3 points on a line. Dragon, bed, and you. You are in control of all three of the points. And you want them all to line up correctly so that you deal the most damage. You are the point that is most difficult to move because it's like your location is dependent on the bed and your protection block. So it's, I guess, yeah. You can change your position by changing where you put your protection block. You can change the bed by elevating beds like this. Or protection block here, or on the other side. Or you can elevate a bed twice. And here you do not need a protection block, does not do a lot of damage. If you're on the side, you can put a protection block if you're like pretty far. Like here, I think you still don't take damage. Yeah. If you're more out to the side, then you take more damage. Imagine the dragon is charging very low, so you want to raise the dragon, because you can't put the bed any lower. So you have to raise the dragon. It's your only option. You place the protection block that you're going to place anyway, and you can jump on top of it, or just stand on top of it, depending on how high you would like to raise the dragon. You can also like go up multiple blocks. I never go up 3 blocks. 2 and like 1 or 2 jumps is the most that I've ever needed to do. Now talking about more complicated situations. The dragon is charging at a very high angle. You've practiced a lot, you've learned through experience that if you hit that angle with a double elevated bed, it's not going to do a lot of damage. So what you can do is try to run under the dragon, place a bed, and build up. I realize this is like maybe hard to imagine, but hopefully I will have a video that is more in depth. So if the dragon is charging you at a high angle, you run under the dragon, make it turn around, and then you place the bed and elevate to pull the dragon up out of the ground, and then you can explode the bed. Called a 180 bed. Hard to do. I do not recommend it for beginners if you're not confident. Chaos deck is important. I do recommend beginners know about it, even if they don't pay a lot of attention to it. Basically, the idea is don't hit the dragon with your sword after a charge, and stand away from your bed. And you can also walk backwards after you explode the bed. That is it, and then you get more charges. I do not recommend using crystals for damage. Building up to a crystal takes a long time, takes a lot of blocks. It's always bad. Okay, in the best situation, it's like okay. And a bed would have been better. 3 ways to break crystals. You can do it without any protection. Take 5 hearts of damage. You can do this setup, Zash setup. I am on... Stop it. Easy. So now you punch the crystal. You don't want to punch up here, because the crystal hitbox does not exist up there. You want to aim quite low, as you can see. I was clicking the whole time while I was lowering. So like aim as low as possible, I'd guess. I did not see how much damage that did to me, but you can rewind if you're interested. The other way is to fall off and hit it while you're falling, which is just like absolutely psychotic. I cannot imagine doing that. This is why I say crystals are completely useless. Just get some more beds. I mean, when the dragon dies, you want to go to Y64 and look up at its neck, the base of the neck, not exactly where I'm standing, but that will put you in the portal instantly. And that is it. Is that it for the whole tutorial? Jeez. Good luck gaming.